Hey, I'm so glad you could join us for this special Kids and Family 101 class. Today we are going to be discussing how chemical-laden our environment is and how and why that's bad for us and what we can do about it. So we're really excited that you are here. I want to introduce myself. My name's Sarah Altman. I am married to the amazing Matt Altman, and we have 3 little kids, a girl and 2 boys. All of them are 5 and under. And we are very passionate as a couple and as a family about kicking chemicals out of our life and making as healthy decisions as we can. And my husband is going to do the next video, and he is an MD. He also has a master's in public health. His specialty is in environmental medicine. And he has had a lot of training in toxicology and just different environmental hazards and exposures. And he's going to talk about some statistics and some health concerns that living in this chemical world could cause your family. And there's so many things that we can't control, but there's so many things that we can. And so today's class is about focusing on the positive and the things that we can control and change. So I'm going to hand it off to Dr. Altman, and he is going to discuss that, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Thanks. Bye.
Hey y'all, it's Matt Altman again. I hope you're enjoying the class so far. I know y'all just got introduced with Sarah. If you haven't met me or seen my teaser videos, I'm Matt Altman, Sarah Altman's husband, and she is a fantastic woman. I'm so blessed to have her in my life, and she's the one who really started us down this road, and I just have a lot to be thankful for with her. And I want to talk to y'all a little bit about my specialty, which is environmental health. So my training and background I described in my teaser video, but briefly I'm an MD with an MPH in environmental medicine and environmental health. And so what I do all day is I just try to help people that get exposed to different chemicals that we've created in this world that get hurt at their job sites. And I go out and I get to walk around job sites and look at all these hazards that are out there. And it's just provided me a great opportunity to learn about what is safe and what isn't safe. So jumping right in, what I really want to talk about is how our bodies work with chemicals. And so we're just learning a bunch of this stuff right now. And that's kind of a scary statement if you think about it. We've been in this industrial revolution and post-industrial era now for a long time. We're talking about roughly 100 years. And we're just now learning how all the stuff that we're making is interacting with our bodies and how our bodies respond to that. I think a good example of that to start off with would be epigenetics. So epigenetics is this new field of study, probably in the past 10 years or so, that's coming out and saying, you know what, your genes don't define you. We have a large set of DNA in our body that gives us a good baseline for what you're going to be like. But that doesn't tell us everything. A good example of that would be twin studies that have been done where you take one twin and put them in one environment and another twin in another environment, usually through like an adoption situation where they were raised very differently, and they have very different health outcomes. But that's odd, right? Because they have the same DNA. So what epigenetics looks at, and it looks at how our environment is actually impacting our gene code and how our genes are upregulated, downregulated, turned on and off, however you want to say it. But it actually means that what we do in our environment affects how our bodies are going to express the DNA that's in each individual cell. And so that kind of leads us into this question mark of, well, what's in our environment? And we don't know. I can't tell you. I can tell you that our environment's dirty, and there's a lot of things we can't control. But I want to spend a few minutes now talking with you about some things that we can. And today we're going to talk mainly about beauty products, and the fact that your skin is the largest organ in your body means that whatever you put on your skin is important. And it's not just what you eat, not just what you breathe, not just what you drink. But your skin is incredibly important as a means of introducing your body to the outside world. So, with that being said, I talked a little bit about hand sanitizer in my teaser video, and that had to deal with triclosan. And triclosan is an antibacterial agent that was introduced into antibacterial soaps and hand sanitizers And it's been on the market for roughly, 10 years at this point. And the FDA just took it off about a year ago. And the reason they did that was because they found that triclosan was causing hormone disruption with the thyroid, which is incredibly important as far as metabolism goes. Kind of gives you that energy throughout your day and kind of regulates your body's metabolic rate. So the other thing that it showed was that it was increasing antibiotic resistance in the real world. And that's creating these quote unquote superbugs that you hear about all the time. And so they removed it after 10 years of being on the market. That's crazy. And that's a great example of how our government and how our nation looks at chemicals. So I will use a medical reference just to kind of make this clear. When I get a patient that's exposed to a chemical, they come in with a sheet that's called an MSDS. It's a material safety data sheet. And that MSDS tells me what's in that chemical, gives me some of the chemical properties, the flammability, yada, yada, all that other stuff. But what's interesting is that I don't get a full list of what's in that chemical mix because that chemical has a proprietary mixture. And so in the United States, there's a heavy weight given to corporate property. And the fact that these chemicals are corporate property and the mixtures are corporate property means that I usually get a percentage range. So I'll see that there's an ether in there that's 5% to 10% of the mix, and there's a ketone base in there that's 1 or 2% of the mix. I don't get specific details even as a doctor. So likewise, in our commercial and consumer products, whenever we see things on the label, we're not always getting the full story. A lot of times if you pick up a hand lotion or even a hand sanitizer or a soap, you'll see these ambiguous words called fragrances or colors or natural additives or whatever. And what's interesting is that those statements are not heavily regulated by the FDA. Fragrances alone account for 3,000 plus chemicals in the world. We don't know which of those 3,000 chemicals they're using or what combination of those chemicals they're using. So all we have to go on is the fact that we know there's a fragrance in there, and that fragrance is one of 3,000 or 4,000 chemicals. So going forward, how do you address this? How do you look at the things around you and say, this is safe? Well, the shocking thing is that the government hasn't done that for you either. So the way the United States addresses chemicals is that we look at chemicals and say, okay, this chemical looks something similar to this chemical. We're in the same family group of chemicals. But we don't have the time, we don't have the money, and we don't have the scientific resources to go through and heavily test each individual chemical that every company creates throughout the year or throughout the past decade. And so what they do instead is they group chemicals together and say, these chemicals are generally recognized as safe, and they label them as GRAS, okay? And that GRAS label kind of gives chemicals a free ride. And we end up in a triclosan situation all over again, where you have 10 years of a chemical being on the market, and then we find out, oh no, this is causing problems, and we should probably not be using this. The same thing happened with BPA. That was around for 30 years before it got taken off the market. And the bad news is that the alternatives that we're using are usually no better than the chemical we had in there in the first place. So for BPA, there's now BPS, and BPS is showing very similar signs in the lab that it's acting just like BPA. So we're in this conundrum, right? And that's what Sarah and I have become so passionate about, is taking some responsibility and taking some power into our own hands to say, we know what we're putting into our bodies. We know that these chemicals are out of our home and that we're using plant-based products that are not insignificantly potent to clean in our beauty products, for my shaving, for showering, all that kind of stuff. And so what Sarah's going to talk about as I hand this off back to her is going to be how to replace the chemical-laden things you buy at the supermarket with things that are essential oil-based, that are still just as powerful and just as potent and do just as good of a job and keep you healthy and keep all these chemicals out of your body. If you want to know more, we'll be more than happy to talk to you. I have to give my doctor speech really quickly and tell you that I am an MD, but I'm not here to treat you and I'm not your personal physician. You need to go find a good doctor out there who is conscious of some of this stuff and is willing to sit down and educate you and listen to you. And if you have any general questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Just let us know on the Facebook page. Thank you all for being here tonight, and we really look forward to talking with y'all. Bye.
Okay, so now that we've learned why we want to keep chemicals out of our homes and away from our family and our kids, let's talk about some natural, safe, and effective alternatives that we can use. Before we get started, I just want to clarify, I'm not a medical professional and I'm not here to treat, diagnose, or cure you. And even though you did hear from Matt, who is a medical professional, he's still not here to treat, diagnose, or cure you. Just want to get that out of the way. Okay, so tonight's class is going to focus on essential oils. So what are essential oils? They are the highly concentrated aromatic essences of trees, plants, shrubs, flowers, grasses. They're the plant's natural defense mechanism, and the plant uses them to help repair and defend itself. And they work in our body in much the same way. So why do I recommend using Young Living essential oils over other oils? And the reason is pretty simple. I'm a farmer's market kind of girl. I want to know where my food comes from. I want to know where my water's sourced. I want to know where my cleaning products are from. And essential oils are no different. And a lot of the ones, unfortunately, that you can buy in the grocery store, on Amazon, are not actually from a plant. They're made in a lab, which you would think that they should be regulated, and that if it says an essential oil that it should be from a plant. But our laws allow for it to be made in a chemical plant. And the way most of these chemical plants make essential oils is they start with known carcinogens like phenol or formaldehyde. And they take those carcinogens and they turn them into something that mimics the essential oil's chemical makeup. But they're not an essential oil in the sense of being from a plant, and your body recognizes a difference, so they're not nearly as potent, but they're also not nearly as safe because they are made from a chemical, and a lot of the chemicals that they're made from are known carcinogens. And if you're trying to get rid of chemicals, I don't know why you would want to use one from a lab. So that's why I recommend Young Living. They own their own farms. You can go to the farms. I'm actually going to go this summer to their lavender farm in Utah. I'm really excited about that. They own their own distilleries. They make sure that no plastic ever touches the essential oils. They make sure that no chemicals, no anything touches these oils. They're harvested at exactly the correct time to be the most potent the plants can be. And everything from the seed to the seal is watched over very carefully. So with these oils, I know that I'm getting the safest product and also the most potent product. So it's really good to remember when you're using these oils that just a little bit goes a long way because they are so potent. So yeah, that's why I chose Young Living, and we love them. We can tell a difference, and we just feel much more comfortable knowing that they're from a real plant, which again, that seems silly, but you want to know your essential oils are from a real plant. Okay, so there are 3 ways to use essential oils. The first is aromatically, which is historically how most people have used the oils way back as far as, biblical times. And so for aromatically, you can either diffuse it in a diffuser, or you can just smell it from the bottle, or you can make a spray with it and spray it in the room. You can rub it on your hands and then smell it. So people sometimes think that aromatically is not as potent, but if you think about how our brains are wired, smells are really powerful, both emotionally and physically. And when you inhale them, you're still affecting your whole body, which is again why it's so important that you're using pure oils. The second way to use oils is to apply them topically. So you could rub them on the bottom of your feet. You could take a bath with them. Again, you'd want to mix with Epsom salt because water and essential oils don't mix. But if you add salt, it'll help them mix. I'm going to show you different ways to make roll-on blends and different type of blends to use that would be applying topically. And the third way is ingesting, which you could just ingest it straight. There's a couple oils that you can't, but for the most part, you can ingest these oils, and I'll tell you which those ones are. And then you can put them in a capsule. You can add them to your green shake or your smoothie every morning. I personally add some to my green shake every morning. They can help food taste good. I'll add it to tea. Sometimes I cook with it. I'll make peppermint brownies. So there's lots of things that you can do with these oils and lots of different ways to use them. Okay, so let's talk safety. You can put these oils anywhere except for your eyes and your ears. If you get them in your eyes and your ears, they're not going to do permanent damage. They will burn. But you never rinse it with water because water and oil don't mix. And actually, when the oils come in contact with water, it drives them deeper into the skin because that's how it worked in the plant. If they came in contact with water, they would go deeper into the plant. So you would want to mix it with what's called a carrier oil, which is any fatty acid oil, such as coconut oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, anything like that you would have in your kitchen. Any fatty acid oil will help dilute the oil and it will not be as strong. So if my kids, sometimes this happens a lot with kids actually, you'll put an oil on like a cut that they have on their face or something, and then they'll smear it into their eye. There's no need to freak out. You just take a little coconut oil, olive oil, and just rub it on their eye and it'll feel better immediately. Since we're talking about carrier oils are a great way to make your essential oils go further. So say you have a sore back and you're wanting to use an essential oil, instead of using a whole bottle to try to cover your whole back, you could just put a couple drops in some carrier oil and then massage that onto your back so it helps them go a little bit further. It doesn't take away from the potency, it just delays it just delays the length of time that it takes to get into your bloodstream. Let's see. It's also really good to dilute before you apply to your skin the first time to just see how your skin does with the different oils. My kids don't have sensitive skin, so I can put most of the oils on straight. But some kids have really sensitive skin, so it's always good to check. Try a carrier oil first and see what works best for you and your family. Okay, so that's just the basics of what essential oils are, how we can use them, and some safety stuff. If you have any other questions about that, please let me know in the comments, and we will move on to the next video, which will be discuss some particular essential oils. Thanks, guys. Okay, now let's talk about some specific oils. So today I'm going to talk about 11 different oils. They're the basics, if I were going to pick. The ones that would get you the furthest, the most versatile, a really good place to start without being overwhelmed. I would start with these 11 oils. They're kind of like you've got your salt, your pepper, garlic, your butter, your olive oil, whatever you cook with all the time and you're always reaching for in the kitchen. This is kind of like those. They're just the basics. So we're going to start out with lavender because you cannot, that's like the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. Sorry, I've got to reach and grab them while I'm holding the phone. So lavender is one of the most versatile oils that there is. It's a very mild oil, so it's really good to use for kids. And it smells really good. It's a really calming oil. So it's a good one to diffuse at bedtime to help your kids wind down. It's also a good one to add to laundry, to wool dryer balls. It's a good one for minor cuts, scrapes, and burns. It's very soothing and calming for the skin. I put it in my face serum, and it's great for skin. The next one I want to talk about is, and I'm just going to kind of go through these really quickly, and then at the end I'm going to talk about some specific recipes that you can have using all of these. So the next one I want to talk about is my favorite. It was given to baby Jesus for a reason, but it's frankincense. It's also a very mild oil, so it's good to use, for kids or during pregnancy. But it's an amazing, amazing, amazing oil. It has so many purposes. It's an amazing immune support. It's also great for skin. I use this on my skin every morning, every night. I think it's just makes your skin pop. I don't know what it is about it. Since I've started using this on my skin, I get so many more compliments on my skin. It's awesome for skin. And then It's a really good calming one, a good one to diffuse. Doesn't make you sleepy, but it just really calms you. So it's a really great oil. The next one I'm going to talk about is, hang on, let me grab it. Lemon. Lemon is a great, just do it yourself cleaner in a bottle. It's a great Gooby Gone. It's a great whitener. I use it to whiten my clothes, to get out stains. I use it to clean counters. I use it to, I'll put it in a spray bottle and I'll clean with it all the time. It's great. So I also, this is labeled Lemon Vitality, so you can adjust it. And I will put it in a shake in the morning. I'll add it to hummus. It's just it's a yummy oil. And it's a very potent oil. And something about lemon, it's interesting is it's diffused. It's taken from the, not diffused, sorry. It's distilled from the rind, so it's not acidic like you would think lemon would be if you add it to your drink. But it's not because it's taken from the rind, not the pulp. So that's an interesting little fact about lemon. Okay, so let's try peppermint. So peppermint is another really great one for cleaning. You can add it to baking soda and clean your tub. It smells really good, diffuse. If lavender calms you down, then this wakes you up. So it's great to open your airways. It's great to use before a workout. It's great to use as a chest rub, diluted with some carrier oil. It's great to clean with. Peppermint just has tons of uses. It's also, I bake with this. I bake brownies, chocolate bark, hot chocolate. Tastes really good. Let's see, next up we have copaiba, which most people have not heard of copaiba, but it's actually a South African tree. And it has got a lot of really cool properties. It's great immune support. Let me back it up a little bit. It is an extender oil. So if you add this oil to another oil, so say you want to use frankincense on your face serum, but frankincense is a more expensive oil, so you don't want to use as much. Well, you could add copaiba and it makes frankincense go further and be even more potent. So this is a really good one to add to face serums. It's also a great one to rub on sore muscles, any bumps and bruises. I use this all the time on my kids. It's just I use it all the time for immune support during the winter. It's a great one, copaiba. And then next up we've got Thieves. Okay, so Thieves is an amazing, amazing, amazing oil. It is awesome immune support. So I put it on my kids' feet every morning, every night during the winter months. I diffuse it anytime we have people coming over. I think it smells like Christmas because it's got cinnamon in it. It's great for cleaning. It's great for making your own hand sanitizers, your own soaps, your own cleaning products. I use Thieves for everything, and I'm going to go into that in just a little bit. Okay, next up we have Panaway, which is great for bumps and bruises. I combine it with copaiba a lot for sore backs. Anytime you've been working in the yard or you've had a really hard workout, this is your oil. If your kid, drops something on their foot, this is just a great, great oil. And let's see what's next. So we got Diges, which is kind of like it sounds like. It's to support digestive health. It's great for that. After you ate too much Mexican food and you're really full, or just really to support any sort of stomach or digestive health. Diges is an awesome oil. I use it for my kids all the time. It doesn't smell great because it's got fennel in it and just some other plants that are known, ginger, that really helps aid stomach health, but don't smell great in my opinion. So I usually just rub it on the stomach, but you can also ingest it. It's a vitality oil, so you can put a little drop on your tongue. Okay, so let's see. Next up we have RC, which is for respiratory support. So it's great for a chest rub. I'll sometimes mix it with lavender and make a little homemade chest rub to help soothe and calm at night. It's also, because it does open the airways, it's great for before a workout. My husband uses it for snoring. It smells like a spa, so I love to diffuse it when I'm doing yoga or just to kind of calm us. When the afternoons get really crazy, it's a good one for that. And then Purification is another oil that's, sorry, I'm having to hold the phone. It's getting a little difficult. Okay, so that's also great for cleaning and do it yourself. So this is an odor eater. And I mean, it's such a good odor eater that we put it on our dogs after they got sprayed with a skunk. And it worked. Amazing. I mean, it took it away. We washed them with this and Castile soap. No chemicals, and it was gone. I'll make a spray and I'll put it in my kids' shoes. I'll make a room spray with it. If we are cooking something and burn it or something like that, I'll diffuse Purification. Purification is an amazing odor eater. So you don't have to use that Febreze, toxic nastiness. You can just use some Purification and lavender and your house smells fresh and it eats the odors and it's great. And then lastly, we have Stress Away, which is kind of like a little margarita in a bottle. It's got lime. It smells really good and it's the oil that you should have when you're taking all your kids to the grocery store in late afternoon. It's just it just chills you out, man, just like a margarita. It smells awesome. I actually like to diffuse it when people are coming over. It's just kind of like a relaxing but still fun. It's not like lavender, which will really make people just want to go to sleep. So those are the 11 oils. I'm going to actually do another video because this one's getting kind of long with some do-it-yourself recipes. So I will see y'all in a second. Bye. And we're back to talk about some do-it-yourself cleaning recipes and ways to replace your favorite gross toxic chemicals with some new favorites that you will love but that will be safe for your family. Okay, so first up, let's talk about cleaning. So I just get a water bottle and I fill it up with water and I add a little salt. Remember, because water and oils don't mix. And then I will add in my oils of choice, which really you can pick from a few different ones. A lot of them are really good for cleaning, but my favorites are, let me grab them. Sorry. I'm having to hold the phone. Our lemon, thieves. So we got lemon, thieves, and Purification. And I will just add, in a bottle this size, I would add about 10 drops of each, and then I'd fill it up with water and salt, and I will clean everything with that. I'll clean countertops, I'll clean floors, I'll clean windows, I'll clean everything with that. So I would, of course, test your furniture, test your counters, and make sure. But that's what I use to clean is essential oils, and it works awesome, and I love it. So that's one way that you can clean. You could also add peppermint. There's a few different ones you could use, but those are my favorites. And then I have a room spray slash critter spray slash kid spray. So I fill this with water and salt, and then I add in Purification because it eats odors. And I'll add in lavender and a little bit of thieves. And I think that's all I have in this one right now. And I will spray my dogs with it because it just helps keep critters away. I will spray my kids' shoes with it. I will spray their room with it. I will spray anything and everything with it. If I'm in a bind and I can't find my cleaning stuff, I'll actually clean with it. It's kind of funny. I use this for everything, but it eats odors. So it's great. Like when our dogs are out running around and they come in and they smell, I just spray them with it. When the kids are out running around and they come in, I'll spray them with it. I spray, I'll rug with it. I use it for everything. It's kind of replaces a room freshener or those awful plugins. So I'll use that. And then speaking of replacing plugins, so I keep a diffuser going. Like let me show you one of my diffusers. Here is a nifty diffuser, and I have one of these in almost every room. My kids sleep with them. We keep them in the kitchen, in the living room, in my office. And I just diffuse oils all the time, and that's what replaces my room fresheners. And my house smells awesome, and there's none of those. So anyway, Google room fresheners because there are horrible chemicals in that. And so we just avoid them completely, and it's awesome. So that's another tip I've got. And then let's talk about face serum. So I will actually make my own little face serum, and I'll put frankincense, lavender, and copaiba, and I'll add in jojoba oil, and I will just, let me show you. This one actually has a roller ball, and I'll just roll it on my face at morning and night, under my eyes and everything, and it works awesome. It really, really makes my skin pop. Again, which oils you use are kind of up to personal preference, but that's what I use instead of a face serum and instead of a toner, and I love it. So that's some do-it-yourself beauty. And then, let's see, I also made a homemade lemon spray to get stains out of clothes, carpet, whatever. I've used it to get out wine and blueberries, but it's basically just lemon oil. I used an old lemon bottle I had, and I put a spray top on it. And I added water and salt, and I keep it in the laundry room, and I just spray directly on the clothes, and it works awesome. Another thing I want to show y'all is, so when your kids, start being around other kids and going to school or co-op or whatever y'all are doing, I spray this in their hair, and it works awesome. It's just a blend of, you can kind of pick whatever oils you want, but I've got thieves and purification and lavender in here, and then water and salt, and I just spray their hair, and it works awesome. Trying to think. Let me get my recipe card, and I will give y'all a few more recipes, and then we will be done. Oh, okay, awesome. So making your own hand sanitizer. So there's a couple different ways to do this. I usually like to do witch hazel. Also, I'll add witch hazel and a little bit of aloe vera, which the aloe vera is optional, but I like it. It kind of helps soothe your skin. And then I'll add about 10 drops of thieves, kind of just to get the smell that you like, because some people like it stronger than others. And that will be my hand sanitizer. Sometimes I'll also do thieves spray, and I'll do water, salt, and thieves, and that'll be my hand spray that I'll just take with us to whenever we're out running errands, and that works really well. You can make a produce wash and clean your fruits and veggies with purification or with thieves. Both of them work really well. I already talked about an air freshener, but you can make room sprays out of any of the oils, and they work awesome. You can do a wood cleaner out of olive oil and lemon oil. Again, I would test it on your own wood, but I use it on my stuff, and I love it. You can make your own Gooby Gone with lemon. Lemon essential oil is a great Gooby Gone. You can use wool dryer balls and put a tiny drop of purification or lavender on there, and it's great to get rid of those dryer sheets, which can have tons of chemicals too. And then you can make a homemade bleach with 1/2 cup hydrogen peroxide, 2 cups water, 5 drops lemon, 5 drops thieves. And it works great. And there's tons of other recipes I've got. If you end up joining our team, I have just lots and lots of resources. Like I said, literally, I'm not exaggerating. This is all we use for everything in our house, and it's amazing. So yeah, if you have any questions about any of these recipes, if you'd like some more details, just let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with it to the end. I wanted to wrap it up and tell you guys how you can order. So I recommend that everyone get started with the Premium Starter Kit, which is the 11 oils that I went over. It has these 10 oils plus the bonus Stress Away, plus a diffuser of your choice, and it starts at $160. It's a great deal. It was retail, it would be over $300. So I would love to help you get started with that. This is what I do for my living, so I can stay at home with the kids, and my husband helps me out. That's our passion, is wellness, so we're doing this together, and it's really fun. So I wanted to thank you for supporting that. Please let me know if we can help you in any way. If someone invited you to this class, please contact them and enroll with them. If not, contact me, and I would love to help you get started. If you're confused, just contact me, and I'll help you get in touch with whoever you need to. Thank you very much for attending, and please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.